Shut up and sit down.
Common Sense New Hampshire. Live, raw, and unedited. Call 603-217-5400. We want to hear from you. I'm the voice of Common Sense New Hampshire, the boss lady, Erin D. And now your hosts, Bernie D., Craig Driggers, and Mad Mike.
Yeah, I love that. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Common Sense New Hampshire. Phone number 603-217-5400. Once again, 603-217-5400. I'm Bernie D.
I'm the boss lady.
The voice
of Common Sense New Hampshire. I'm Craig Driggers, and we are once again devoid of Michael Percy. Mad Mike not here, still dealing with this crazy strike in Rhode Island.
Is he still wearing a bulletproof vest?
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
No, he has an armed guard who wears a bulletproof vest.
God,
you would think.
He's like a politician.
Yeah, right. So Bernie, I know I got here a little late, and I want to point this out real quick because I don't think our listeners have ever heard the. Bernie and Aaron get here probably an hour before the start of the show and make sure all the mics are set up, the mic stands are set up, the board is set up, and everything else. And it seems like every friggin' week I have a bunch of crap that makes it so I can't get here early enough to help you guys set up. So my question to you, I just want to give you guys, number one, the props that you deserve as far as the setup goes. But my question to you is, has anyone reached out to Mike? I've been following our message board on Facebook, but is Mike going to call in today? Have we heard from Mike? Like, what's going on there?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
We don't know. Aaron needs to be potted up, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, well, we don't know. What the fuck?
Well, Mike.
I'm gonna reach out to Mike right now and find out what the hell. We're all very busy. We all have a bunch of shit going on. But I'm gonna reach out to Mike right now and find out whether or not we're gonna do whether or not he's calling in. So.
I think with our disaster last weekend that he was a little upset with us.
Oh, last week where okay, so if you don't know, remember now if you do follow us on Facebook, we posted that due to unforeseen circumstances, we were unable to have the show last week. Trust me, it broke all of our hearts not being able to do the show last week.
Did too. But
the reason we were unable to do the show is where we do the show from here at McGarvey's, traditionally anyway. There was Bernie and Aaron, again, to their credit, about how much work they put into this whole setup. We're re-laminating the top here at McGarvey's, the spot where we do this.
Right. So there is, we actually have a corner, if you will, where we have the DJ setup. So it's like the DJ booth, if you will.
Right.
And this place hasn't been cleaned out in, I don't know, since 1982?
No, you guys were cleaning dirt out that was, clearly.
We were cleaning dirt out of dirt out of dirt.
Right.
And so we kind of limited things. We kind of put things in more of a, working perspective.
Right.
And,
they had to reset. You guys literally had to break everything down here at the DJ booth and reset it up. And because of the way that it worked out with the management staff here, that had to be done. The best day for it to be done was Sunday.
Correct.
And unfortunately, the timing-wise, it worked out where that had to be done also around the same time that we start the podcast, and it was much more work than you guys initially expected.
We got here.
That's what happened.
Yeah, last Sunday we got here at 3:30, and we started taking things apart and putting things, in places, and we started putting the net laminate down.
It was a lot of work.
I was still cleaning things at 10:30 at night.
Yeah,
you were.
Shay and I were here on time, and we saw how much work you guys were nonstop, man.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't like we did not want to miss the show. Trust me on that, because this, like Mike said, quite appropriately, this show is like therapy for all of us.
Sure.
And none of us wanted to miss an appointment with our therapist. You know what I mean? So it was very disappointing that we weren't able to do the show from our perspective, in particular from our perspective. None of us want to miss the show, but it's just how it works, man. We have lives. This show is not is not paying our bills. You know what I mean? And so the shit that pays our bills has to take precedence, and so that's how it went. But
one of the things that we're definitely going to try to do is, if we cannot do a podcast on Sunday, we'll try to figure out another way, even if it's like an hour show.
Right.
We'll try to have a weekly show, in spite, if we can't, like, again, like I reiterated, if we can't do it on a Sunday.
What?
yeah, like you re-diarrhea.
Yeah. If we can't do it on a Sunday, we'll try to do it on another night. We will strive to do that from this day forward.
There's always plenty of stuff to talk about, and we are full of shit to talk about. I could have ended that sentence with just "we're full of shit," but we are full of shit to talk about because so much has happened over the past 2 weeks. Christ.
I'm looking at things. Where do you want to start, Craig? Drinkers. I'm looking at you, man.
I don't even know, dude. So we've already addressed the last episode that we didn't have it, and man, all right. So let's decide that first we want to talk about Harvey Weinstein.
Let's do Harvey.
Remember when the news first started coming out about these media moguls being busted for the shit, and I said this is a snowball. I mean, once you start opening up Pandora's box on this, think about it. It's so simple. The idea that men in power take advantage of take advantage of the fact that they are men in power by using that to get laid. It's somebody who's literally going to tell me, like, I had no idea. I didn't know that was happening. Then, well, where the fuck have you been? Like, you've been living under a rock? But so Harvey Weinstein, I mean, he's the tippity top of the movie titans. You know what I mean? He is. I mean, the Weinstein Company. Shay just yesterday was looking at all the movies that he's produced, and you go through his IMDb. It's nonstop scrolling, you know. So his production company is obviously one of the biggest, and so for him to be toppled, so anyway, he recently, the news is he chose not to testify in front of the grand jury. He was charged with a few counts of, I think rape was one of them, and, you know, whatever. Here's the deal. This is something I posted on Facebook, and I think it's a pretty fair question. Okay, you guys familiar with who Roman Polanski is?
Of course.
Okay.
Nope.
You don't know who Roman
I'm
Polanski
retarded.
is? All right.
Nope.
Well, you don't.
I don't get out much.
It doesn't mean you're retarded that you don't know who Roman Polanski is. I bet you that half the people in here don't.
Probably don't.
Okay, so Roman Polanski was a director back in like the 70s or whatever.
Before my time.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Roman Polanski was a director back in the 70s that had been charged and convicted of drugging and molesting a 14-year-old girl. Okay? Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm getting kind of distracted. Like, the jukebox is really loud.
Yeah, but I'm not picking it up. I'm
not picking it up either.
I'm not picking it up.
Wow, I am hearing, like...
I can't hear you.
Yeah, really? The mic, I'm not picking up.
I'm not picking it up
really
either,
loudly.
so I'm good.
So Roman Polanski was convicted of drugging and molesting a 14-year-old girl. Okay, he had anal sex with her while she was drugged.
Nice.
The drugs that he, well, no.
Just kidding.
Are you listening?
I am.
You're like, nice. Okay.
Go on, details.
Okay, so anyway, when he was convicted,
I'm talking like scum, like,
he
you know.
fled the country to a non-extradition treaty country, and he's been living there ever since. And he is a celebrated director. He directed the movie The Pianist, which won all these fucking accolades and all this shit. Okay, so I posited the question on Facebook. If Harvey Weinstein decides to bail to a non-extradition treaty country, will he be just as celebrated as Roman Polanski? It's the fucking double standards. And I kind of feel like double standards are going to be a common theme on this episode with all the shit we have to talk about today.
All right, so my question behind that, though, is not necessarily were they were they honoring the movie for these great actors and the great plot line, or were they honoring it because he was the director? You know what I mean? Like,
so
it's kind of like a shooting the messenger kind of thing.
Prior to this Me Too movement, okay, Roman Polanski was a celebrated director, and everybody wanted to very much forget what he did, okay? You even have Whoopi Goldberg on record as saying this shit on The View when Roman Polanski came up in this sort of the context of like how this shit works.
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg is on record on The View as saying, well, it wasn't rape.
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus.
how do you, yeah, because she was saying like that basically this girl, go back and look at the footage, okay, of Whoopi Goldberg talking about this. She's essentially implying that the girl wanted it. A 14-year-old who got drugged and raped, okay? That's what he was convicted of. And so Whoopi Goldberg is on record as saying it's not rape. I mean, you know what I mean? No, it's fucking rape.
It's rape.
It's rape.
She's 14.
She
is not of legal age to consent, first of all.
Exactly.
Second of all, how old are you?
And she was drugged. She was drugged. So my point of bringing that up is that that's sort of the ideology, that's the mentality that these Hollywood people had about Roman Polanski. Now, if you bring that shit up today,
he would have been crucified.
Under this Me Too movement stuff, people would be like, no, fuck Roman Polanski, he's a goddamn scumbag. But just a couple of years ago, these same people were like, well, you know, shrugging their shoulders like, well,
it doesn't really happen.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And a lot of it is that
it's the culture and this sort of idea.
Well, it's that I understand, in the US it's proven, it's innocent until proven guilty, but you know what? If the cards fit.
Well, this is the important part, is that he was convicted.
He was convicted. That's the thing.
The jury came back. I'm not sure if it was jury or just a judge. Either way, he was convicted. There was enough evidence to suggest that he did this,
And that's, and you'll always have those people that even after somebody's convicted, they're like, he would never do that, and he's such a sweetheart, and blah blah, and they must have the wrong person, and
right.
You'll always have those people, unfortunately, and that's just the way.
There's people that are going to defend people like that, of course, but again, like you said, we live in a country where if I'm convicted of murdering somebody, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people in jail right now for murder that didn't do it. It happens all the time. We hear about the stories all the time. Somebody getting released from prison for 20-something years after 20 or 30 years of being in prison, and it turns out DNA evidence exonerates them.
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
you still fucked up that person's life for 27 years in jail, and they'll never have a normal life anymore. So.
But now that we have a better idea of the way that Hollywood has worked for decades upon decades, it seems to me that Roman Polanski's conviction was appropriate. You know what I mean? Look at fucking Bill Cosby. I mean, how many people are running out, besides his wife, how many people are running out to defend Bill Cosby when you've got 70-plus women saying he did this to me? You know what I mean? So,
what's her name did? The daughter from Cosby. What's her name? Raymond Simone? No.
No.
That sounds right, though.
No, that's not.
That sounds right, though. But
Raven Simone was the granddaughter.
Show. Yeah. She was the granddaughter.
But nevertheless, I mean, to me, it's crazy that these fuckers, everyone who's ever defended Roman Polanski, I feel like, particularly from a Hollywood media mogul perspective, everyone who's defended Roman Polanski, Whoopi Goldberg included, ought to be asked why. What the fuck is the difference between the two, and how do you square that circle? You know what I mean? How do you square the whole, I'm defending him because it wasn't rape, but Harvey Weinstein should burn. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Harvey Weinstein shouldn't burn, okay? Because if the allegations against him are true, then yeah, I mean, fuck, dude, you're a piece of garbage and you deserve everything shitty that happens to you. But you can't. To me, it's funny how the ideology changes so quickly. You know what I mean? Because of movements, right? I'm personally 100% for like the Me Too movement. If you're a woman who has been